Level, you here?
Yeah, right here. How are you?
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, all good. Yeah, guys, so today we'll have an AMA with Level Finance. We're very excited to have them with us to work together with Vaultka. So we'll just talk a little bit about DeFi, about perpetual dexes, how they evolved, how they came to Arbitrum, our future partnership, and all other stuff. Yeah, so thanks everyone for attending. And maybe as a first question to Level Finance, just if you could shortly introduce yourself, what's your position, what you do, how did you find your way to crypto, and how was it, please?
Sure, happy to be here. Hey guys, hey Vaultka and Finish. Thanks for having us. So I'm Dr. Level, so you can consider me the voice of Level Finance. I'm also BD in the Discord if you've come into our Discord and check it out. Myself, I've been in crypto since 2018. Been through several bull and bear runs. And very happy to be part of the Level Finance team. And just give a brief introduction of Level Finance. So we've been around for 7 months, and we're currently live on the BNB and Arbitrum chain. I can delve a bit deeper into it later. But yeah, that's me. You can call me BD.
Okay, yeah, awesome. Maybe as a next question, what was actually the idea behind creating of Level? How did you come up with it? Maybe you had any problems with success?
Yeah. So like I said, so we launched in December 2022 towards the end. And it's been a wild ride, when we originally first came up with the idea of launching Level Finance, really we've been thinking about doing this for the past 2 years already. We just needed to find the right time and the right set of people to start. And we started on the BNB chain, and very soon we became the #1 perpetual DEX on BNB, which blew even our own expectations, right? And I think some of the key factors for our success now, just looking back, is one, we wanted to do something very different, right? So if you look at Level Finance, the way we think about liquidity providers and liquidity risk management is quite different to the other counterparts in the space. So it's a very unique way of risk management, and also just focusing on the product itself, right? I believe we were the first perpetual DEX on BNB chain, and other than that, we're fully permissionless, on-chain, non-custodial. It was fairly launched as well, right? So if you think about our long-term vision when we launched, we had no pre-sales, no minting. Everything is governed by the Level DAO, and our team tokens are locked up for the next 4 years. So we really have a long-term approach. We're trying to build Level like a business, right? And one of the main philosophies behind also launching Level is we wanted to create a platform that would be immune or would not have counterparty risk like you see on centralized exchanges, right? Obviously, the idea is not new, but I really believe, we really believe that decentralized exchanges are the future of DeFi. Still a long way to go, of course, but we want to play our part in building that infrastructure and being a very critical part of the future of DeFi as well, right? So launched on BNB, and then a month and a few days ago, we launched on Arbitrum. And super excited about being on Arbitrum. Obviously, we're very grateful to have partners like Vaultka as well, and very happy that recently we also hit $1 billion in trading volume a month in, and we're still heads down building on Arbitrum as well, right? So yeah, that's us in a nutshell, and there's still a long way to go. We're only 7 months in, and a lot of exciting things coming in the near future for us.
Mm, but yeah, first of all, congratulations on a successful launch on Arbitrum. I think it was a big step for you guys. Maybe just a brief question: how was really time back then, like 2 years ago, when you launched the level? Like, why have you picked BNB chain? What were the benefits, like maybe compared to AVAX or maybe other competitors? And why have you decided to launch on Arbitrum? Because like I imagine, like the competition is pretty high there. There is GMX, there is Vela, there is Gains Network, etc. So I think it's pretty hard to gain any market share there.
Yeah, so even though we've been thinking about this idea for the past 2 years, right? We only launched in December 2022, and we launched on BNB chain first because really we wanted to test to see if we actually had product market fit in the first place before tackling a behemoth, a giant chain like Arbitrum, right? So we had no expectations, and second, it really wasn't done on BNB chain before successfully. So we thought, why don't we just build out this platform on BNB, see how it goes, and if it's successful, then we can think about replicating the same kind of model into other platforms, other chains as well, right? And of course, very soon we saw that the market loved our product. It was very well received. In the span of a few months, we hit $20 billion in trading volume, and then we started to seriously think about, okay, what's the future, right? And just on the side note, everything we do, right, is passed on and governed by the DAO. So whenever we do any kind of big step or strategic decision, we release a proposal to the level DAO, and it's all voted by the holders of our governance token, right, which is LGO. And as a side note as well, we have a utility token called Level, and then we have a governance token called LGO. And the only way to get LGO is to stake Level, right? Um, so in thinking about the next chain, we had a few options on the list. Options like Arbitrum, zk Sync, and a few others. Arbitrum won the most amount of votes, but we also kind of knew that it would be a really big step for us, and that the community did like Arbitrum as a chain. So Arbitrum won the most amount of votes, but really it was a very careful evaluation by the team as well, right? We considered things such as liquidity, an active user base, the amount of daily transactions, and if you think about TVL as well, it's the fourth chain by TVL, and it was a real no-brainer for us to launch an Arbitrum. Even though there are also other pub dexes already on Arbitrum, and I think the way to think about this is, we don't really see subdexes like GMX and GNS as competition. In fact, we see them as counterparts, right? Really, we like to see them as sort of like our brothers, also building on Arbitrum, and potentially other chains as well. And we're all really driving towards the same mission of creating very strong and robust decentralized platforms that the DeFi community, and hopefully in the future that the wider crypto community would love, right? Really fast, that the competitors that we see are centralized exchanges. Also noting, of course, we know everything that's happened in the past year or 2 years. So it wasn't really a concern for us. We believe that we have a unique product. There's space for everybody to succeed. If GMX and Gains and the rest of the pub dexes succeed, we also succeed, right? So there's enough space for everybody to succeed in the end, and we're very collaborative with the rest of the platforms as well, right? So yeah, moving to Arbitrum is a no-brainer, and also the depth of protocols and projects that exist on Arbitrum. We're very excited with all the potential partnerships that we can have as well. Like the one we have now with Vaultka. So yeah, so those are all the reasons why we moved to Arbitrum.
Yeah, awesome. Maybe just wanted to ask you, with your experience to move into Arbitrum, you obviously have some experience. Like, how others, like, how's the user different? Like, if you could describe a BNB chain user of Level and also Arbitrum user, what do you say? Maybe Level user on Arbitrum has maybe trades more, is tagging more, or they're just pretty same?
That's an interesting question. I think so far we don't have enough data to come up with a sufficient conclusion. At the moment, it seems pretty much the same. Maybe just by data alone, there's a lot more liquidity, obviously a lot more traders on Arbitrum. So hopefully we'll see that kind of growth and volume scale up on Level soon. But currently, yeah, not much difference that we see so far.
It's just because I'm asking, because the next question would be, how Level sets itself apart from competitors on Binance Smart Chain, in terms of, I would say, Apollo X, also Pancake launched their Perpdex, and on Arbitrum, as I mentioned, JMix and others. So basically, as I would imagine, maybe the people on Arbitrum, they may be tagging a little bit more because there are much more shit coins there, etc. So maybe they trade more, they need maybe a bigger variety of tokens, something like that. Yeah, so that's just why I asked. Yeah, so basically the question is, how do you actually set yourself apart? Like, what was maybe your biggest advantage, which helped you to achieve the first perpetual DEX on BNB chain?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think one of the really unique things that we bring to the ecosystem is the way we think about, like I said, risk management and liquidity providers, right? LPs. If you look at how someone could provide liquidity on Level, we've actually broken it up into different tranches, right? So we have the junior tranche, the mezzanine tranche, and the senior tranche. So it's a concept that we brought over from TradeFi, right? If you think about like mortgage-backed securities, where you have a pool of securities or assets based on different levels of risk, right, to cater to different risk appetites. So these three tranches present different opportunities of risk for anybody who wants to provide liquidity. So that in itself was the first time that anybody has seen this kind of model when it comes to LPs, with the senior tranche being the lowest risk and lowest APR, all the way to the junior tranche, which provides the highest risk and highest APR. Right, so we double down on the LP structure, and it's again proven very successful. It's something that none of the other DEXs provide. And also the way our tokenomics work as well is quite simple, and you can already tell that it has a very long-term vision when you look at the tokenomics, right? So again, Level being our utility token, you have to stake it to an LGO, and LGO is already immediately liquid. It trades between 80K, and at the all-time high it was around 300K for one LGO. But obviously you need to stake Level to earn LGO, right? So anybody who invests in Level Finance, for example, are really investing in Level tokens. You're buying, whenever you buy Level tokens and stake it and hold it, you're really investing in the future revenues of the platform, right? So the more LGO you have, the more fees will come to you over time. The more rev share you will get in the long run, right? So I think it's a mix of the fact that we have a very unique risk management system. Also, an amazing product. If you go on our trading platform, it's a very simple UI UX, very seamless, very smooth, and also the fact that we are building Level like a business, and really the long term of what we want to build at Level is to become an omni-chain platform, liquidity platform, right? So BNB is the first Arbitrum has been the second, and being forward-looking in Q4, we're working on launching on another chain. Haven't announced it yet, but hopefully by the end of Q4, we're on our third chain by then. And obviously, in the long term, we aim to be blockchain agnostic. So a lot of work to be done, and I would say it's just some of the factors that would probably differentiate us. But again, we don't see the rest as competitors. Everybody has their own unique factor that they bring to the table, and hopefully we all succeed in the long term.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's actually a good thing that you mentioned that you aim to be blockchain agnostic, as I would say it's the future of crypto. Yeah. Also, you mentioned it's a good thing that you mentioned the tokenomics, because I would say that this level one is very interesting, because you have a level token, you have also LGO, it's the governance token of level, and also we have LLP, which is liquidity provider token. What was the idea behind behind having three tokens overall, which is kind of unusual, I would say, because usually we have maybe two tokens here. So one is governance, one is liquidity provider token. What was the idea behind it, and how does it actually benefits to using all those three? Isn't it confusing for the user at the end, or is it okay?
Well, actually, we haven't found it based on community feedback. It has actually had the opposite effect. It's quite simple to understand, and the reason why we designed it that way is because if you think about the structure, you can tell that it's a long term play here, right? So, obviously, even though daily price matters to the market, when price goes up, people love it. But really, we were thinking of, okay, as we build level, the value of all of these
Yeah. I'm sorry. It seems that I have muted everyone. Could you?
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry,
Sorry.
I was on mute. sorry, sorry. Okay, so just to backtrack again. So
Yeah. Yeah. My bad.
we've
My bad.
actually, yeah. So to answer your question, so we've actually had the opposite effect, right? So it's we've heard from the community that it's actually simple to understand, and the reason why we designed it that way is because it's very clear what utility or what value each of these tokens provide. If you look at the way the tokenomics is structured, it also lends to the fact that we have a very long-term outlook on how we structure the tokenomics. And even though okay, daily price matters to a certain extent, people ask, when price goes up, we're really looking to accrue and increase the value of level and LGO over time. If you even look at our strategic investors that we've had, so we've had 5 strategic investments. The most recent one being 2 weeks ago was a $20 million investment released in tranches. The way it's structured is the first 2 million tranche that we've had is locked up for 6 months, and then is vested over the next 6 months. So it's vested over a 12-month period, right? So every investor that comes at the level also has a long-term point of view in play as well, right? So it's arguably it's simple to understand, and it's something that will increase as the value of our
Yeah. I think
ecosystem
it will.
level increases over time.
Yeah. Please. Yeah, so I just think that the system you've built is really interesting, because you also are just a regular maybe DEX, because people can also swap via you, and so basically you offer all different varieties of financial instruments the users could may need. My next question would be, right now we can focus ourselves on the advantages, and obviously we can see Level has many of them, but what about the disadvantages? And what I mean by this question is, how do you actually solve those common issues, as maybe front running, slippage, and maybe some kind of an asset limitation?
Yeah. So this is obviously this is a common issue that a lot of DEXs face, but For us, we do have minimal price impact, which means that you can execute large trades without your position size affecting the price of the asset on the market, right? So the only way you can experience the pitch is when, due to price movements between when your trade is executed and when it's confirmed on the blockchain. But other than that, we have no price impact trading, which is similar to actually GMX. And we also focus on offering trading for more blue chip assets like BTC, ETH, and then the relatively more volatile ones like BNB and Arbitrum, right? But for the most part, as long as we continue to trade with BTC ETH, we want to minimize the price impact that way. So that's how we solve the issue.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. My next question would be about the DAO, because as you mentioned also, after the launch, you can move to DAO structure. So basically, you're decentralized, and it's it's hard to achieve this kind of I would say government when you're decentralized. So what was the idea behind it? So basically, you just wanted to somehow decentralize yourself and being a real perpetual DEX like for everyone, and everyone could participate, invest, and get some revenue share, or like what was the main idea behind it, and what do you see, like do you think is a DAO structure or?
Yeah, I think it lends to the true philosophy of what it means to be decentralized, right? So the DAO structure is built upon our dual token model, level and LGO, and it's specifically designed for even the way we earn revenue, right? Which is through fees. So we generate a lot of fees on a daily basis, and the main intention behind the governance token LGO's design is to capture the platform fees and grow the DAO treasury in the long term, right? So if you look at the treasury, it's sitting around $24 million now, so extremely liquid. And right now, each LGO token is 100% backed by over 90,000 worth of blue chip assets like BTC, ETH, and stablecoin, right? So, um, should every platform adopt the DAO approach? We believe so, but again, it depends on the mission and the vision of the platform that you're trying to build. For us, it makes sense because all decisions are made through the DAO, and in the long run, as long as we continue to build, it's a win-win for all our users and for the community as well.
Awesome. So maybe just a short question. So basically, as I understand, as you mentioned, you had your investment round last week. So basically, as a DAO holder, you basically also a smart part of participating in this investment. So basically, the DAO allows people to invest in those early stages on different projects. Isn't it right? Yeah.
Um, well, actually, as long as you buy a level token, you're sort of buying a share in the company. It's kind of like buying a stock in a Web2 company. As long as you're buying level and you hold it and then you stake it, um, you're investing in the future of level, basically, right? Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So maybe as the next question would be, should I just briefly introduce the Vaultka, so we could maybe just discuss a little bit about the further upcoming partnership? What do you say?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you, thanks for that. Yeah. So what we aim to do at Vaultka is basically we really believe in the future of perp dexes, and yeah, like I would say right now we're on Arbitrum, but we don't really think that only Arbitrum or only on BNB. We think overall, so people will be moving from sexes to dexes because obviously as the market evolves, like you guys can offer really great service and the similar user experience as Sexes, but the user still have self custody over their funds, and they know where the funds are actually placed, that no one uses them, etc. That they're safe as possible overall. Yeah. So basically, we at Vaultka, we are trying to be a catalyst for this, and we are trying to amplify and to make the lives of those perpetrators even better. And the main problem we are trying to solve at Vaultka is the liquidity, because obviously, any perpetual DEX needs liquidity, and what we aim to do, we have built those different strategies. So far, we have two of them. One of them is delta neutral, which we just use for the GLP, and other one is leverage one, which we'll probably use for the level LP token. And how it results, the perpetual dexes which we are working with, they get much more liquidity as our community and our contributors are depositing into those vaults. And using our strategies, the depositors, they also got awesome API. So at the end, both the users and the exchanges themselves are benefiting from it. And we also use V safety score, which tracks all the vaults, all the health levels. For example, if we will use the leverage one, which we're using currently for the VLP, for the Val exchange, and I think we will be using for LLP. And we're also working on implementing different leverage, for example, from 3x up to 10x. And obviously, if you're playing with this leverage, it's very important to keep to stay safe, to don't get liquidated, etc. And it's actually, to be honest, very hard to do with those LP tokens, as their price is pretty stable. But still, we have implemented the V safety score, which tracks the house position of your vault, and if anything happens, if price suddenly drops, we are using flash loans via Aave, and that's how we can just reduce the leverage for a short term period of time, to just don't allow the liquidation to happen. Yeah. So what we actually would be aim to do with level is to provide also the leverage strategy for the LP. And as I mentioned, you guys will get better liquidity, as you will just more liquidity LP tokens will be bought and invested and hold, and our users will just get awesome API using our leverage strategy, and everything stays safe via the V score. What do you say?
Yeah, if I could just add to that. So, again, very grateful for the partnership. Vaultka is an extremely composable project in Arbitrum, and it enables the level LPs in the senior tranche to amplify the exposure, right? So this will be built on the senior tranche. So just to elaborate on that, by using Vaultka, now that level LPs can have a leverage position from, I think it's 3 to 10x is dynamic leverage. That means higher APR, as users will earn more level incentives on their initial deposit, as well as earning more fees from traders on the level DEX, right? So very excited for this first step in our partnership, and we look forward to more synergies between Level and Vaultka, potentially, such as delta neutral LLP positions.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the exact point that I actually forgot to mention, because obviously the traders they get more level, the LP token providers will get more level because of the leverage. So at the end, everyone benefits. Yeah, and also another product we are also working at is it's called the cocktail, and what we're aiming to provide there is kind of an index of LP tokens. So basically, it includes all the LPs of different exchanges, like I would say Vela, GLP, GDAI, LLP, etc. So basically, by holding it, you are just profiting from the whole industry itself. And I think we could also include LLP here. Yeah. So I think it will be also a great addition to the LP and to level itself, and we at Vaultka will be very happy to add it. But it's currently under development, so we will have a little bit more updates on that a bit later. Okay, awesome. Moving to this question, I would say it's every project. The biggest part there is the community, and obviously as the competition is so high, like are you actually community incentivizes? How are you trying to keep those users? Like yes, you mentioned you as a tier list, like those different tiers. So basically, the ones who are with you from the beginning and trade with you daily, getting rewarded for that. But maybe there's anything else back there, like any other incentivizers so far.
Yeah, it's a great point. So obviously, traders are the lifeblood of Level, right? Well, most dexes focus on incentivizing just liquidity. We actually incentivize trading activity. So, I think the argument could be made that we actually over incentivize trading activity because a lot of our traders have been very profitable just from trading on Level. So it means that if you trade on Level, you will earn Level tokens as soon as you open a trade asset, whether you're longing or shorting the market. Regardless of how big or small your position is, you're actually incentivized to trade on the platform, right? So in addition to that, we incentivize also the largest traders every week with additional incentives. It's like a ladder system where we reward the top 20 traders on a weekly basis. Obviously, this has proven extremely well for us. It's generated 29 billion in trading volume in 7 months since launching. Um, in fact, just I think it was last week. One of our traders paid $11,000 in fees and got back $10,000 in rebates, which is incredible. So again, the argument could be made that we are over incentivizing traders a little bit, but it's a win-win for everybody. So we're happy to do that, and we're the only DEX doing this at the moment. So it's a win-win situation for everyone. So yes, we love our traders a lot, and we also reward them very well.
Yeah, absolutely agree on that one because I have checked your website today and I've seen your leaderboard and it looks really impressive because actually the people have maybe a reason to trade even more to get into the leaderboard. And I've seen one trader had maybe 27,000 paid in fees for like in this week. And as you mentioned, he probably will receive also a big chunk of the of that back in level. And I think it's actually a great incentivize, which is like provided daily, like weekly, as I understand. And I think it could also help you really grow on Arbitrum because, as you mentioned, no one really does it. You're the only ones who really actually cash back the fees, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of like a cashback system.
Awesome. So the next question would be: so far, like the people can like swap tokens, people can trade on perpetual decks of yours. Do you have actually any other plans, maybe to create some kind of OTC? Maybe you want to go into like in the options direction, or maybe I
Finish. I'm kind of losing you, buddy.
sorry.
But I think I get your question. You were asking whether we plan to introduce any more functionalities like OTC trading, for example, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is something that yeah. So it's something that we think about, but no plans in the near future for OTC at this point. Our focus is just to focus on cross chain expansions to capture more users, and consequently more volume and fees. But it is something that it's is in the works, and something that we do think about.
Sorry, I just can't hear you. Did you ask me something or?
No, I didn't. I answered your question. So I said we've got no plans for OTC trading at the moment, and we're just focusing on further cross chain expansion.
Okay, yeah, sure. My bad. Just I have not the best connection here, so just lost your last part. Sure. Uh, Moving to the next one. The self custody is like the main point of those dex purpose changes as people keep the funds safe, etc. Compared to sexes. What is your take on self custody? How it's realized at level? Yeah, just I think the simple one.
Yeah. So there's a saying not your keys, not your wallet. It's not an issue at level, whether you're an LP or trader, right? So we're 100% non-custodial. I think what it really is we're excited to develop a product that we would use ourselves, right? And with what's been happening with centralized providers, being compromised externally or losing customer assets due to mismanagement or outright theft, we felt really compelled to ship a product that not only rivals the user experience of some of these centralized platforms, but also offers users an opportunity to trade crypto without compromising their token security. So 100% non-custodial, and we're very happy with that.
Awesome. I think it's actually the most important part here. Okay, moving to the next one. As Optimism BNB layer 3 was announced, do you have actually any plans maybe to moving on there, or just or do you have any other plans to reducing maybe the transaction fees or execution costs, something like that?
So we haven't really heard any negative feedback about execution costs or fees by traders. Also because we incentivize users of our platform enough that it doesn't really become an issue. So our focus is really just to elevate the user experience, right? There's a lot of features that we are very excited to add to our trading platform, a lot more functionality. And overall, the decentralized perpetual trading industry still requires a lot of further improvement to match the experience of traders on Sexes, right? But given the tremendous progress and innovation happening constantly, we're confident that the experience trading on level will be comparable to Sexes in the not so distant future, right? So that's really our focus. And again, we haven't had any negative feedback. Our users are very happy on level. So really, it's just putting our heads down and continuing to build on the product and making sure that we have the best product for our users. Hey, Finish, you there? Hey, Vaultka. Anybody? Are you guys? Anybody online? I think Finish is a bad connection, unfortunately. Oh, Finish is gone. We lost him. Why don't we take questions from the community? Any questions, guys? Hello? Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, my bad. Sorry, just have a terrible connection. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we have.
All good, man.
Thank you. Thanks for the understanding. Yeah. The next question was actually about the future of Level. I just asked about maybe any other chains, guys, you want to expand. As you mentioned, you want to go chain agnostic. Some as maybe OP, BNB, or JB, maybe other layer 2s or layer 1s, and also maybe you want to go in any other trading like financial instruments or something like that, or you just mainly focused on perps right now?
Yeah. So, from a product perspective, we're focusing on building the best trading platform that we can. In the near short term, we've got an NFT collection coming out. So anybody who trades on Level Finance will stand a chance to get the free NFT drop, which is the only NFT collection we're doing, and it has it's 100% utility NFT that will benefit users of the Level Finance platform. In terms of other chains, so like we mentioned, we do have plans to launch on another chain in Q4. No official announcement yet, but if you look at the options that we had in our previous DAO proposal, ZK Sync came in a very close second. So I would say that is definitely at the top of the list, but we haven't confirmed any chains at the moment. But yeah, in Q4 we should be on another chain by then.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks a lot for the answer. Maybe the last one would be just to you personally. How do you think what the future of crypto will be? Maybe what would be the catalyst of the upcoming bull run, like perp exchanges or something else? Maybe the institutional investors. What's your take on that?
Yeah. Obviously, we 100% fully believe in the very bullish future of crypto. It's just that the market goes through cycles. Obviously, right now for the rest of the year, it does seem like we're in a bit of an extended bear cycle. Hopefully things pick up in Q4. Nobody has a crystal ball. We can't tell what's going to happen. And there's so many black swan events that happened in the past year that no one could have predicted. But it will come at some point, and we're already seeing a bit of signs of recovery. Yeah, so I would say I don't have any major comments, because you can never know. But the best thing that we can do, at least on our side, is continuing to build a product that our community loves, and that's with the right functionality. I would say that what's very impressive about the DeFi ecosystem is that you can already see that there are projects that are doing very well despite market conditions. So, and if you're bullish about the crypto space in general, you can only imagine what the liquidity and the volume will bring to all these projects, regardless of whether they're perp dexes or yield aggregators or LP providers, what have you, right? And we can't even imagine how much more successful that all of us can be, as long as we continue to build, we focus on the right activities. Once the bull market comes back, everybody wins basically, and it's going to be multiples of scale when it does come, right? The fact that we're already doing well despite everything that's happened is a good sign, I would say. So that's our opinion when we think of it top of mind.
Yeah, absolutely agree on that, because as you mentioned, the bull market will come eventually, and we just need to keep building, and at the end, everyone who stays will be rewarded. Absolutely agree on this one. I think we might have some questions actually from the auditory, from the audience. If anyone has any questions, guys, I think Level Finance would be happy to answer. So just maybe raise a hand or just write in comments. We would be happy to answer. I'll just wait maybe 30 seconds if anyone raises a hand. If no, I will just check the comments right away. Okay, I don't think anyone has raised a hand. Okay, wait. We have a question. No, okay, not really. I think there are no questions left. Level Finance, thanks a lot for attending, for being with us here, for answering all the questions. It was a pleasure to meet you. Looking forward for the future partnership, and wish you a good one.
Likewise. Thanks, Finish. Thanks, Vaultka. Appreciate our partnership and looking forward to working together. And thanks, everyone.
Absolutely. Thanks. Thanks for coming. And see you the next time. Bye, guys.
See you guys.